She was like really rich, really, really rich. It's what it ain't. It's your girl Ombre Alert, and I am back with another video. A little psycho, you feel me? Like a D-list movie. This is somebody that we should have heard about in school. What is going on with the school system? You guys are gonna be shocked when I say what I'm about to say. Okay. It's your girl Ombre Alert, and I am back with another video. Okay, in today's video we are going to be talking about the richest black girl in America. Yes, we are. Today's video is going to be about Sarah Rector. If you have heard of her story and you want to know more, or you don't know who I'm talking about, it's cool because I'm about to drop the facts right now, so make sure you get into it because today's video is popping. Let's go. Make sure that you like, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel because, come on, what are you doing? Like, this is one of the most interesting channels on YouTube. I'm just going to put it out there because it's facts. So, without further ado, let's just do this. Let's do this. Okay, so I came across this story. I really forgot how I came across this story. No, I don't remember. Okay, so we're just gonna get into it. Sarah Rector was born in 1902. She was from Oklahoma, and she lived on, Native American land. Y'all know the Midwest was full of Native Americans in the 1800s, especially the late 1800s. She was living on land that was infertile, meaning that no crops and things like that would grow. So her family had to lease the land so that they can, make money. Lease the land to this independent oil driller, and his name was B.B. Jones. And B.B. Jones drilled a well in the land, and it produced gallons and gallons of oil. So ever since then, the land was one of the most wealthiest lands. They found oil. It would produce 2,000 barrels of oil a day. And then after that, her royalty checks started coming in. It started at $300 a day, which basically back then, well, today it would be $7,000, $7,600 a day. So back then it was $300 a day. And from then on, her royalties were coming in from the oil, and she was an instant millionaire from then. So this was big news, for a black girl, and a black family. This was big news. She lived with her mom, her grandma, and, after that, their lives significantly changed. They were living, really, as most black people were living. They were living very poor, enslavement, and after that she became rich. They moved into a bigger house. She wasn't sleeping on the floor anymore. She had a lot more than any other child would have, any other black child would have at that time. Some of her family members that still are, from generations are alive today, and they said that they grew up as her being like their aunt. And they even said that they didn't talk about talking about how much money you had was like family business, and you didn't talk about that. So she never said she was rich. Even though it was literally facts that she was rich. This of course was like a sensation within the Oklahoma community, and they began doing newspaper articles about her and calling her, really horrible names, and, making fun of her living conditions before she got rich. And, and this is a child we're talking about, you know what I mean? This is before paparazzi and all those type of things. So it really shows the shape and the fabric of how society was in the 1800s and how they viewed black people. They literally viewed black people as trash, and that we were undeserving of any kind of money. So just because this was literally a society thing, that they were doing these newspaper articles and talk about this child, that rose to fame, it was just too much. So she eventually moved away. When she was 18, her net worth, I believe, was already over $1 million, and today it will be $11 million. Just to go back a little bit, there was something called the Dawes Act of 1887, and that happened just before she was born, just to give you guys a little bit of facts. So just before she was born, basically, Americans were forcing Native Americans to live a more American lifestyle. So they would basically make this act, and it was only for states like Oklahoma, Washington State, North Dakota, South Dakota, all those like states right there, Oregon, Missouri, all those states basically had to force Native Americans to live an American lifestyle, meaning that they had to conduct business as individuals and not as a tribe. So most of the Native American tribes went along with the act, and they had to start buying land as individuals instead of having a reservation. A lot of Native Americans did not go for this, and some of my family's from the Seminole tribe, they were not playing that. And most of the like Native American tribes that were on the East Coast was not messing with it, like Cherokees, Seminole Indians, just to name a few tribes, were not going for that. They were not going to relinquish their traditions just to, you know, be a part of American society. And unfortunately, that's why a lot of the tribes, those tribes aren't here today, is because they didn't fold. And to be fair, I do understand why some of them did. I mean, I can understand them feeling like American culture and the white man, if you will, is the majority and majority rules. So I understand why they would have just compromised, especially to keep the tribe alive, or to keep, the lineage going. I get that. But that was happening around the time, so it was a lot of buying land, and I even have a chart I can put up here where it says how much each land costs. Most of it was really cheap, like acres and acres of land for like $19, like really cheap compared to what the prices would be today. What was going on around the time, like before she was born and around the time she was born. So there did become some sort of violence with that, especially around the time that she started to acquire a lot of money. A lot of Native Americans weren't happy about that because they were like, well, this was our land anyway, so why would we pay for land that we already had? It doesn't make sense. And there was a lot of violence with that. Native Americans were going around to certain lands that they owned, and they were blowing it up, and people ended up getting killed and things like that. So Sarah Rector ended up moving away. She moved to Missouri, and that's where she acquired a 4-square mansion, and it used to be a funeral home in Missouri, and it was huge, and I'll show you a picture of it. It's still up to date. I actually saw like a news person actually go inside the house, and they're going to be dedicating the West Wing to her and what's not, and there's an organization that owns it now. This mansion was huge, and she used to always throw parties, and like Duke Ellington and Sammy Davis Jr. and Count Basie, just to name a few people, would come. Like everyone would come just to see her house, like just to see her mansion. She always had parties. She had tons of cars. She owned like apartment buildings in the area. She was like really rich, really, really rich. Even to this day, I think they had something about her in the Smithsonian, and even on Google, where it's not even her. Like it's a picture of someone else. And that's why I'm glad her family came out and corrected that, because no, we can't have any errors when we're talking about Black excellence, okay? There can't be any errors. This was right at the time of the Black Renaissance, and that was like the 20s, where, Black people were thriving in art and music and literature. And we were just on top of the world at that time. And sadly, right after that was the Great Depression, and she ended up losing most of her wealth because of the Great Depression and the mansion. She lived, though, till 1967, till she had a stroke at 65. So she lived for a long time, and she was able to, you know, have 3 kids, get married, and live her life, you know. And I'm glad that she got to see 2 sides of the coin. Be like struggling, hard life, and then riches right after that. There is an organization that owns the land, and it's called the UICS, and they own her mansion right now. And they're in meetings right now trying to get grants to aid in the home restoration so that they can dedicate it to her, which is amazing because I want to go. Okay, that's probably the only thing I would go to Missouri for. And it's really good because it's like in states like that, like we forget first of all, we forget that there's Black people everywhere. I think I had met, one night I was walking and I met some ladies, and I think they were saying they were from Oklahoma, and it was like, damn, it was a lot of Black girls. I was like, it's Black girls in Oklahoma? Like, and they were like, yes, girl. And I was like, I didn't know that, you know. I mean, all those like Midwestern states are really, you know, they're very racial, you know. So I feel like it's important for us to know that there's Black excellence everywhere. And I've never heard of Sarah Rector before, and I'm glad that I know about her now. And this is a part of why I make videos like this. It's really interesting to know that we are a very resilient culture and that we are just amazing. And I am pleased to be reporting on this story about Sarah Rector. I hope that you guys like this video. I know it was really short, but this is one of those to the point stories. Just be on the lookout for more videos coming soon. It's your girl, Umbrella. I will be back very soon. The next series, I'm going to just give you a hint. It's something I've done before, but not to this magnitude. So make sure you guys stay tuned for the next video. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.